So, very recently I shared with you that I've been dealing with some anxiety due to some big life changes that I have going on in my life. And today I want to chat with you about how I work through it, how I decide whether I'm going to deal with the negative of anxiety or am I going to flip it and make it a positive and make it about being excited. For those that don't know me, my name is Shannon Wooten. I'm a lifestyle infertility specialist, and I help women who feel disconnected from their bodies heal by owning infertility sucks, you don't. So much of how you feel in how you react to every situation is physical. It's almost an instinctual response, or it feels like it is one at least. But a lot of it is also mental. And I shared with you, like I said, I've been freaking out a lot lately, almost this past entire month, due to a lot of big life changes that I've been making in my life. And I'm very familiar with this, as I've shared, because when we were going through our struggle with infertility and I was in the middle of a huge depression, a lot of my reactions, at least I'm aware of now, but even then I wasn't fully aware of it, but I'm aware now that a lot of my reactions to what was going on was because I was anxious, because there was so much uncertainty and so much negativity surrounding it that I lived in a perpetual state of crisis mode. I was negative all the time. And so I shared with you that recently I've been making some big life changes that have been bringing up that familiar sense of anxiety, of fear. And I know that when I get there, anybody that's ever been in that place of anxiety, hyper anxiety, it can very easily push you into a state of depression because of the fear associated with it. And so I also shared with you that I try and work through these feelings of freaking out, of having anxiety, and be mindful of not to allow myself slip back into that depression by doing a few things. I purposefully do not avoid it. I take it head on, I go straight to it, I acknowledge it, and I confront it. And I also admit to myself that I can understand what I'm freaking out by doing those things. I can understand what I'm freaking out about by taking it head on. And I also make a huge commitment to myself not to stay in that freak out place, because it's just like living in a constant crisis mode all the time. And I know for me, it's a trigger. And if I'm living in constant fear and uncertainty, that can slip on down into a depression. And I don't want that, not for me. So how I've been working through it is by evaluating two things. One, am I anxious because I feel negatively pressured? Like I said, recently I've been going through a lot of life changes. Am I anxious about it because I feel negatively pressured? Or am I anxious because I actually am excited about the unknown, about the potential? And for those that don't know, one of the things that I've learned very recently through a lot of life coaching training I've been doing on my own is that anxiety is a negative frame of mind. It's often brought on from pressure, from feelings of dread, or from uncertainty. All these things that I shared that I had in my struggle with infertility. There was so much dread of going to the doctors every single day. So much pressure on me. Is this IUI gonna work? Are these drugs gonna work to get me pregnant? And so much uncertainty. Is my period gonna come this month? That I lived in a heightened crisis state 24/7, constant anxiety. And I just swooped on down into a depression. As well as anxiety, there can also be a positive form of anxiety, probably, known to some as excitement. And excitement is a positive state of mind. It's often brought on by anxiety, yes, but it also comes with feelings of joy, also comes with feelings of hope, also comes with feelings of growth and the potential that may be there with excitement, with that heightened state of emotion that comes with positive anxiety. And how we feel, positively or negatively, is often instinctual, as I said. And if we settle into those feelings of uncertainty, that is where the negativity comes. That is where the depression can come. That is where the freak out comes and the constant state of crisis mode kicks in. So instead of trying to prepare for the worst and hope for the best, I try to live on the side of positive anxiety, the excitement side of anxiety. And very recently, as I shared, where I'm feeling like my whole life is out of whack, so much of it is out of control, and I'm really uncertain, I had to take a moment to, like I said, not avoid it, admit that I was going through it, and say to myself, I'm committed to not live in a constant state of crisis because I need to figure this out. I need to figure if I'm coming to this place of anxiety from a negative, uncertain perspective or a positive, hopeful, successful, excitement perspective. And like, it doesn't always work, right? You know, you're gonna have things that occur in your life that are gonna bring you to a moment of anxiety because you truly feel bad. It truly makes you feel out of control, like I did in my struggle with infertility. Like I said, all of the pressure, the dread, the uncertainty, I really truly felt those feelings. And I didn't, or I wasn't, I should say, capable of seeing the positivity involved in it. And I've always said, and I will maintain, I will never look at infertility and say, so glad that happened to me, woo! Not that girl. But I am happy of the things that it taught me. I am grateful for what I was able to see on the other side of it. So yes, being able to get to a point where you're able to see the excitement in your anxiety doesn't always work. But I find that I am far more successful coming through those feelings of pressure, coming through those feelings of dread and uncertainty and everything that makes me feel like I want to freak out and I can't control anything and I'm super pressured and afraid of going into that depression. I am far more successful on coming out of it if I try to stay focused on the possibility for positivity, the possibility for excitement, the possibility for success, joy, and hope. And one of the things that I do to do that, to promote myself to be able to get through it in a positive light, and not even, have a positive outcome all the time, just to make sure I don't swoop into that depression again. But one of the things that I do is I ask myself, what could go right in this instance, instead of always going to the side of what could go wrong. All right, guys, thank you so much for signing on. Throw me some hearts below if you like this video. As always, I truly appreciate keeping this dialogue open, and my heart is always already with you. Have a great week. Be good to yourself. Do good things this week, and I'll talk to you soon. Peace. Bye.